We are not done with winter. I think we're going to go back into a cold pattern. I think snow is going to be a possibility down the road. I think wintry weather will be a possibility. We're in the January thaw. Now the question is, when does this arrive and how strong? To what magnitude? Will we be able to call it Arctic Hammer 2.0? Will it be as cold as January? And that was awfully cold, that cold period. I don't think that will happen, but I think it's going to be cold and I think it's going to be stormy. I think you're going to be able to get more Arctic air into the United States. Right now, the air that we have out there now, its source region is the Pacific Ocean. And if you know me, and when I always look for, when I'm looking for Arctic air, if it's ever going to come into Arkansas, I always look what's happening upstream in the Pacific Ocean, Western Canada, and Alaska. Those are the areas that dictate where our air is coming from, and right now it's coming from the Pacific. I'm going to show you a map. It's a hemispheric view of what's going on. So it's a bird's eye view down on the northern hemisphere with the center of it being the North Pole. So that's what you're looking at right there. The center of that is the Arctic area, the polar area is here. Here's the United States. Here's Alaska, Asia over here, where you see these blobs of purple and green. Those are troughs of low pressure. And then you see the ridges in the red. These are actually 500 millibar height anomalies. But what I want you to see here is when you get cold air into the pattern, you cannot have a trough over Alaska. This troughing out here with the flow of air flowing from west to east, that's delivering Pacific air. So the fetch of air is off the Pacific Ocean and right into the United States. That's why we're going to stay mild. We're going to stay mild for a while. But what's eventually going to happen, I'm going to demonstrate this to you with the European computer model. What you're going to see is that important ridge go up, and it's going to replace this in Alaska. Watch what happens. So this ridging will develop through British Columbia on up through Alaska, but it's going to take time. Now, there's plenty of weather between now and then. Watch this. So you get this ridging over the central areas of Canada, and you're going to get storm systems. This is late this week, by the way. You're going to get areas of low pressure going right underneath that ridge. It is not a warm pattern. It's a cold pattern, but it's not one that brings in, this far south at least, I don't think it's going to bring in terribly Arctic cold, but it will bring in cold air. And we'll have to watch for the possibilities for frozen precipitation in northern Arkansas, I think, next weekend. That's a slim chance at this time. But this is not really the pattern that I'm looking at for another big blast of Arctic air. I just think, in my opinion, that pattern gets active with rain chances next weekend. So that's what's setting up here late this week. This area of low pressure, that trough, comes right underneath that ridge. You see that? So this is Saturday. Goes right into the southern areas of the United States. You get high pressure here, cold air delivering on the east side of that. And you're looking at some snows, especially out in the eastern portions of the country. Look what happens in Alaska. You see what's starting to take shape next weekend? This is the February 3rd. This is February 3rd. The trough is gone. All right, not completely, but watch this. Down the road, okay? So this is now February the 9th. You still have some troughing here, but boy, the cold air is in the western United States starting next week and into the following week, second week of February. Cold air in the western United States and snows, heavy mountain snows. What a time for someone to go snow skiing, in my opinion. But anyway, so you're going to get that. Now that cold air is going to expand and that trough is going to get kicked out towards the east. So this is February 9th. Beautiful, right there. That's showing the ridging going up. Trough here, ridge going here. Trough in the central United States. Second week of February, we're going into the colder weather pattern. And look at that ridge build around and after Valentine's Day. Mother Nature showing cold weather lovers some love. Look at that ridging going up. Western Canada into Alaska up into the Arctic areas. I mean, it's right there. Areas east of the Rocky Mountains, central and eastern United States. It is cold. Now, this is February 17th. Look at the pattern just continues. This is February 23rd. Ridging in Alaska. Cold air gets dumped south into that trough. Flow of air now has changed. It's not off the Pacific Ocean. It's now the source region being Canada and the Arctic areas. So again, the flow of air going up and over that ridge and right into the central United States. Here comes, if this is right, Arctic Hammer 2.0. This is February 27th. This is March 1st. My goodness. Does it last that long? Now, let's look at, these are 850 millibars, which is 5,000 feet. Temperature anomaly, so we can see where it's colder than average and warmer than average. So this is up and coming weekend. There's the cold air cutting underneath. There's that big ridge in central areas of Canada that I was showing you, and the stormier pattern developing next weekend with rain. And we will have to watch maybe for something wintry. That's a slim outside chance. But it's going to turn colder underneath that ridge right there. So this is February 5th. It's getting cold in the western United States. There's that ridge, and there's the cold air and the storms going underneath. Watch what happens, though, with this cold building in the western United States. We'll go towards Valentine's Day. This is the 9th, by the way. That's the 10th, 11th, 12th. See how this is the 12th. Cold air in the Rockies starts to make a move towards the east. So there it is. I'm going to stop right there. That's Valentine's Day. Below average temperatures at 5,000 feet. That will correlate to very cold conditions down here at the surface. Notice how if I were to back this out, North America, you're seeing above average temperatures in Western Canada and Alaska. Why? Because their cold air got dislodged. The source region has changed. The cold air that's been building up plummets towards the south around that ridge. And I mean, just look at this from mid-month. I mean, it just sticks around. This is the 19th. That's the 23rd. And it stays cold throughout much of the country. I think it happens after February 10th, according to the latest data. If that changes, I'll let you know. But I think after February 10th, you're going to start to see that cold air make its way towards us from the west and the northwest. I think it starts to get more stormy. We're going to get the rain chances back in here next weekend. But it's going to turn very cold out in the Rockies and the western United States first, and then it starts to spread east. That Alaskan ridge goes up. Cold air, Arctic Hammer Part 2, 2.0. Lots of interesting weather to track over the next 30 days at least. And you know I'll be here to do that for you. And as always, thank you so much for your trust.